Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15 and 16. Uh, episode, episode of 15 is Sip and Spill the Tea, and episode 16 is Art Imitates Life. But I'm going to start off with 15. It started off with Kenya and Cynthia talking about their marriage problems. Uh, Kenya was telling Cynthia that she's sorry that she went through that stuff with Mike Hill with the divorce and stuff like that, and she thought they were going to be married forever. And then Kenya saw a look of that Cynthia had on her face. She said, "You really want to talk about this, do you?" She said, "No, I don't want to talk about it." And she said, "Okay." And then Cynthia said in her confessional, with her little side shade, "I've been married and divorced twice, and Kenya is still trying to get a divorce." I don't think Marlo should have said that. I don't think Marlo should have said that. Um, and then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Marlo talking to her therapist, and she was telling her therapist that she wants to get her advice. Her therapist was named Sharon. She wants to get her advice on should she bring Scotty around the boys. She said because the boys are very protective of her. The boys are very protective of her, and she wanted to get some advice from her therapist. And the therapist told her that the boys have been through a whole lot. They've been in and out of foster care. The mother has been in a mental institution. They were saying that was a lot for those boys to take on. And Marla was telling her therapist that she wants to show the boys what a family look like and a family lifestyle. She said, Marlo, I'm telling you, maybe you should just ease the boys into it. Don't bring them around the boys so quickly. And Marlo said, okay, I'll think about it. And then it switched to the next scene, and then the next scene was Sheree talking to her party plan. No, the next scene was Sonia going to her first ultrasound with Dr. Jackie, and her and Ross and Deuce went to see Dr. Jackie. And when Dr. Jackie came in, she said, Sonia, you know you're not supposed to be bringing kids to an ultrasound. She said, well, he was just so excited and stuff about him going to be in a Big Brother and stuff. And she said, well, how much does he know? She said, he knows just about everything. She said, do you think that's a wise and a good idea to have his son involved in all this? And so she got the nurse to take Deuce out of the room while she explained uh, to Sonia her progress of her pregnancy, and she said, well, looks like everything looks good and everything looks good for her. She said, but you got to be careful, Sonia, because you're having a geriatric pregnancy. And then Ross said, what is a geriatric pregnancy? She said, a geriatric pregnancy is a pregnancy of women who are over the age of 35. He said, okay. And then Sonia said, don't say it like that, Dr. Jackie. And then switched to the next scene, and then the next scene was the next scene was the next scene was Sheree at the party planner, and the party planner came to Sheree's house, and Sheree was telling the party planner how she wanted the stairs to be decorated with balloons and this, that, and that. And he said, well, what type of party are you trying to have? And she said something like a sip and see, like a sip and see. And so after that he said, well, what is the budget? She said, there is no budget. He said, so you want a big over the top type of party, huh? She said, yeah. And he said, you say no budget? She said, yeah, it ain't no budget. And then they started laughing and smiling, and then it went to the next scene. And then the next scene was them doing the first shooting of the past. And Drew came on set and said she was happy and excited. And she said she was happy and excited, but she thought she was going to get a trailer. But she said Todd and Candy had informed her that she wasn't going to get a trailer. Everything was going to be filmed in their house, and she was saying they said everything was going to be filmed in the house because it was going to be cheaper for the budget. And she said okay. She was there. She was ready to work and stuff. And so Drew and Todd and Candy were sitting down, Todd was explaining to Drew how he wanted the scene to go. He said you're supposed to do this scene and come in closer to her and do this, and so she said okay, okay, and explaining the scene. And then right after that, right after that, Montea walked in, and Todd left the room, and Candy gave Montea a hug, and she said, what's going on? She said, we just got to get ready doing the scene, finna get ready to shoot this scene. And Montea said, Drew, uh, what do you think about what do you think about Courtney calling you the B word? And she said, well, I heard Courtney calling me the B word, but I wasn't there to see it. And so Montea said, well, I got video footage of it. I got video footage of it. And then Drew said, you got video footage of it? She said, yeah. And then Montea said, look, see that? She calling you the B word, Drew. And then Candy looked at the videotape and said, now, seems like she talking to Sonya. Seems like she's saying that about Sonya. And then Drew said, well, evidently she's talking about me because I'm the only one standing up. I'm the only one standing up. And then, and then, and then she said, now, Kenny said, now, Drew, I think she's talking about something. She said, well, whoever she's talking about, I will talk about, and we'll talk about that later. And then, and then after that, it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was that Marlo was that next scene was Marlo talking about her foster care event, and she was with her hairdresser, and her hairdresser was getting her ready, and she talking about, oh yeah, I do this foster care event every day, every time for the foster kids. We giving out awards and stuff like that, and she was saying, what's going on with you and Scotland? Y'all still dating? She said, yeah, we're still dating. We kind of taking it slow and stuff like that. And she said, oh, taking it slow. She said, yeah, we're kind of doing that because he's been doing a lot of stuff out and about and stuff. So we just taking it slow right now. And she said, I got to get ready for my event. So they putting up the makeup. Next thing you know, Sheree was saying that she really wanted Sheree there to show up at the event, but Sonya was the first one who showed up at Marlo's foster care event. Marlo gave out a few awards at the event, and she said, "Ooh, I thought Sheree was coming." And then Sonya said, "Now Sheree got her own event that she trying to do." So it was just Sonya and Montel who showed up for uh for uh um for Marlo's event. And then at the last minute, they were just going to get ready to close. And then Sheree come running in, and Marlo said, "Oh, I'm glad you came, Sheree." She said, "Yeah, I decided to come on and come on and support you and stuff because you've always supported all my events and stuff." And Marlo was just so happy. And then switch to the next scene, and the next scene was the event of the baby glam, and so everybody showed up. Candy came, Sonya came, Montea was there, Shamia was there, and stuff like that. And Bob came early, and him and Sheree was trying to take pictures by themselves. And then Sheree said, "Bob, you better go ahead on." Bob was trying to feel on Sheree, and then next thing you know, Martell came around the corner. And then Sheree say, Martell, meet Bob. Bob, meet Martell. She said, Martell, this is my ex. And then Martell said, I know who he is. I know who he is. He said, yeah, nice to meet you. And then they went over there and they was getting ready to take some pictures. And somebody mentioned, where is Drew? Where is Drew? And then they say, Drew said she's supposed to be coming. And then next thing you know, Candy got a call. And then Drew said, Candy, I'm here. And then Candy said, where you at? She said, I'm outside. She said, what you doing outside? She said, I started to come in. She said, but Sheree invited somebody who assaulted me. And then Candy said, Montel, let's go outside. So her and Montel went outside. And then she said, Anthony assaulted me at a party. He threw a shoe at me, and she threw a shoe at me. And Drew said, I don't want to be amongst that. I don't want to cause no commotion and ruin Sheree's event. She said, okay, we're gonna tell Sheree. So Drew drove off, and then Candy was telling Sheree, she said, Sheree, Drew was outside, but Drew said she's not coming in because you invited somebody that chunked a shoe at her. And then Candy said, well, they said it happened at the Aletheia's, and well, they was having some kind of party event, and he chucked a shoe at Drew. So Anthony overheard and say, well, she didn't pay me my money, so I confronted her, and then she go hit me with her purse, and that's why I chucked the shoe at her. And then Candace said, with all that energy Anthony was having, Drew did the right thing by not coming to this party because Anthony was ready to pop off. And next thing you know, they showed the next scene, and that's when Kenya told Martell that she wanted to talk to him and stuff. And Martell told Sheree, "Come on over here, come on." And she said, "What's going on?" She said, Martell, I just want to clear the air with us, clear the air with stuff, and I just want to talk to you. I really want you to say, it ain't gonna be like that. And she said, Martell, I apologize to you for what I said or did or stuff like that. And he said, "Oh, okay, I accept your apology." She said, "But you do realize that you owe me an apology for talking about me and cursing me out?" He said, "Well, yeah, I do." And then Sheree said like a professional, "Yeah, if she would have started some stuff, I was gonna kick her right out. I ain't scared to kick nobody out, cause wasn't nobody gonna ruin my grandbabies coming out." Next thing you know, they was taking some more. They was next thing you know, Sheree rolled the baby out. The baby was so sleepy they was trying to take pictures and stuff. They finally rolled the baby back in the background in the room or whatever. And then they was taking some more pictures. And then the girls were saying, "Who is that? Who is that? Who is that woman up there? Who is that woman up there next to Bob?" And then Ken said, "I don't know. Maybe one of his girlfriends." Shamir said, "Yeah, might be a girlfriend. We don't know." And then so when they got through taking the pictures, Candy said, "Yeah, Bob, we talking about you. We talking about you." He said, "What's going on?" And they say, "Well, Bob, who is that girl that's next to you?" "That's my daughter, Candace." Say, "That's your daughter, Candace. You got a daughter named Candace?" They said, "He said, yeah, I got a daughter named Candace." And she was saying, "When was she born?" And he said, "Well, she about 2 years older than the oldest." And then Candace said, "Well, Cairo is, I think, about 25, 26." Yeah, they both around one thing. And then Candace said, "Ooh, Bart must have been cheating on Sheree while they was married." And then so they were saying, "What? A secret child, a secret child." And then so Sheree came over there and said, "What's going on?" They said, "Well, Bob said Candace is his daughter. Did you know that, Sheree?" Sheree said, "No, I didn't know that." She said, "Bob said that Cairo and your daughter, I think her daughter named Teresa or something. But anyway, she said, Cairo and your daughter knew about it. Why they didn't tell you?" But she said, "I don't know why they didn't tell me, but I know." And then the show went off, and that was all of episode 15. So I'm gonna do 16. 16 started off with Sheree at the gym with Cairo, and she was telling Cairo that she really liked it how the glam party went off, how the baby reveal went off, and all that stuff. And so she was saying that she was happy about that, and she said, "Oh, I've been trying to make my little grandbaby Mika speak." And Cairo said, "Mom, get her. She trying to get your cell phones." Then switch to the next scene, and the next scene was Candy and Todd at their house talking. And Candy asked Todd, she said, "Todd, do you really how do you feel like being a producer of a movie and stuff?" He said, "It's cool, it's pretty cool. I didn't mind producing the movie." He said, "I'm just a little tired." She said, "We both a little tired." She said, "What about the premiere party? What you?" He said, "We could have something for the premiere party." He said, "But I don't want a whole lot of people. All I want is about 100 some people." She said, "Okay, 100 some people. Well, that's good, that's cool." And then it switched to the next scene, and then the next scene after that was Sonya going back to the doctor for a second time, and Dr. Jackie told her that everything was all right and stuff like that. And she said in her confessional that by Ross not being able to be there, she called her best friend. She called her best friend Marlo, and Marlo came, and Marlo gave her a hug. And then right after that, Dr. Jackie came in. She looked and said, "Oh, you got your sidekick here." She said, "Yeah, yeah, because Ross couldn't be here." She said, "Well, from the looks of things, everything still look good, Sonia. So you just keep doing what you're doing and come back in 6 more weeks, and everything should be all right. Everything should be fine." And then after that, it went to the next scene, and the next scene was the next scene was Drew sitting in her bedroom, and she was going over her lines, reading over her lines, and then Ralph walked in, And he asked her, "What you doing?" She said, "What I'm always doing, working. I'm the one that's always working. I'm the one." She said, "I'm working too." Or you ain't doing nothing but reading lines. I'm saying reading lines is working. You got to read lines. This act. I said, this man gets on my nerves. But anyway, she said, yeah, Montea told me that that Courtney called me the B word and stuff like that, and she had a video, and she was saying well, how do you feel about that? He said, how do I feel about that? She the one called you the B word. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it, Drew? And Drew said, well, Ralph, if you ain't messing with, if you ain't messing with somebody, that means I ain't messing with that person too. And if I ain't messing with that person, that means you are messing with that person too. Uh, but I don't feel no kind of way. Marlo, Kenya, and Candy, and I'll call you a B, and then I'll call you a B. You said nothing like this. So I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for this. She said, you supposed to be supporting your wife. So Drew went downstairs and stuff, and she started talking to her sister Allison. She said, Allison, uh, Montea told me that when we was at the retreat and stuff like that, behind the scenes, Courtney called me the B word, and she said I asked Ralph how he felt about the B, call her a B word, and he talking about everybody. She said no, Ralph is supposed to support you. He's your husband. He's support. She said I know that. Then Ralph came downstairs and said what's going on? What's going on? And then Allison said, well, Ralph, Drew said that Courtney called her the B word, and you didn't support her. He say, well, Drew is always crying. Drew is always overacting. And like I said, other people that called her that word wasn't very. She said, but if she's supposed to be your cousin, she's not supposed to be there. You supposed to support your wife and everything. Allison, I got this. Just Allison, I got this. I know what I'm talking about. Drew is always. She said, I'm not always overreacting. She said, I ain't got time for this. So Drew ran off again, and she went upstairs crying, and then you could see how Allison would look. She said, see, Ralph, see what you done, see what you done again. You always doing that. So Allison went up the stairs and ran behind Drew, and then switched to the next scene. And the next scene was Marlo at the archives thing, and she was talking about she was trying to get her archives thing back together because people have been really renting her clothes and stuff, so she was getting everything set up. And then next thing you know, Scotty walked in. She said, "Ooh, I didn't think you was coming, Scotty. You said you was real busy." He said, "Yeah, I just want to see what you're doing with your little archives and your show and stuff." She said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm so happy that you came and for support and stuff." And while she was talking, she got a text that said, "What's that?" She said, "Oh, it's a text from Candy. She want me to come to her premiere party." I didn't think she was going to invite me because me and her had been getting along too good. He said, "Well, are you going to go, Marlo?" Marlo said, "Yeah, I'm going to go." And then next thing you know, after that, it kind of switched to them showing a little clip of Kenya's opening for her a soft salon, and they showed a few clips of Kenya taking pictures with some of the housewife ladies, and she also had some journalist people, some journalist people there, and also some bloggers there, so they showed a little clip of that. And then after that it switched back to I think it was like shooting scene 2 or 3, and so they was taking a little break from shooting, and so Drew was sitting down going over her lines with her assistant, and she was saying, and then Ralph walked in, and she said, oh, you hear Ralph, and then Ralph talking about, are you gonna be able to squeeze out of there? I said, you always trying to make fun of people and talk about people. I say with big old square head sip. And so next thing you know, he sat down and the assistant left, and he said, Drew, what's going on? She said, I'm doing all right. We're just taking a break from here, taking a break. Well, how you like the movie? She said, I'm doing real good with the movie and the scenes. I'm real good. She said, you know what? This character is almost me right up. She's a wife. She's sensitive. She's a wife. She has kids. Oh, she's a lesbian too. She said, no, not that. That's just playing. That's just the character. That's not me. And I was saying, this man is already trying to spin his wheels of trying to spin this lesbian gay storyline to try to make this girl look bad in court. But anyway, he left, and then it switched to the next scene, and then the next scene after that was them getting ready to go to the premiere party. Candy said she was excited, Everybody said they was excited to come to the premiere party. So